Hello Year 3. So this is a video of the story of the Lorax. Now I'm going to read part of it today and part of it tomorrow. I'm not going to show you the front cover because that might spoil something that you're trying to do today. So I'm going to start from the first page. At the far end of town where the grickle grass grows and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows and no birds ever sing excepting old crows is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, the old onceler still lives here. Ask him. He knows. You won't see the onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkim on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkim cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffed moof. And on special dank midnights in August he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 pence and a nail, and the shell of a great grandfather snail. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snuff, his secret strange hole in his grovelous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper-ma-phone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Slop, down slaps the whisper-ma-phone to your ear, and the old onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snuggly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says, with his teeth sounding grey, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swomamy swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place, and I first saw the trees, the truffler trees, the bright-coloured tufts of the truffler trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under those trees I saw brown barbabloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffler fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffler trees, all my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffler tree with one chop, and with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I'd chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. Now, we're going to stop there today because for the next bit, it goes in to talk about the Lorax. And your job today was to tell me what you think the Lorax was about and what he might look like. So I will see you again tomorrow and we'll pick up where we left off. Bye.